Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Welcome back to part 2 of yesterday's video. Should you stay with your man if he goes to prison? Now, for you all that didn't see part 1, I'm gonna put the link up in the comments. I'm gonna pin the link in the comments. You all can go back and watch part 1 because part 2 is really not gonna make too much sense to you, if you will, if you haven't already watched part 1. Now, while last left off yesterday, I was speaking about Dale. Dale was in prison. He did 2 years, went up for parole on a 10-year sentence. He got denied. It's called deferred. He got deferred 24 months. Those are not words that you enjoy hearing when you go up for parole. Come back and see us in 24 more months. This was one of those situations to where Dale kind of figured that he wasn't going to make parole the first time up. I mean, after all, it was a violent assault charge. He was facing so much more time than the 10 years that he got. He was actually feeling somewhat privileged that he didn't get that 15, 20 years and he had to do 85%. Dale has to break the news to his girl. He tells her about it. You know, obviously she's crying. She's all upset about it. I cannot believe this. I just thought that you had an opportunity to come home and you just been doing so well in there. You don't have any write-ups. You're taking classes and programs. You're doing everything that they're recommending you to do. I don't understand why they're not letting you go. I understand, baby. I understand that you don't understand why they're not allowing me to go. But at the same time, all of that not understanding it is not going to change the fact I got to do an additional 24 months. I understand if you want to leave me. You know, it's a long time. You already been hanging in there for 2 years. You know, if you want to leave me, I get it. I understand. Now, Dale doesn't really feel this way, but it's game. He's running game. He figures that she's probably not going to go on anywhere. How could you ever say anything like that? I'll never leave you. I love you. I told you I'm going to ride this thing out. I'm going to stick it out with you. However long. Yeah, but you don't understand, baby. See, just because they give you a deferment and you do that time, you do the 24 months, you're not guaranteed to go home the next time. As I was mentioning in the first video, on a 10-year sentence back then, it took you 6 years and 6 months to serve a 10-year sentence all the way out. So even after the 24-month setback that he does, that means he would have 4 years in on this sentence. They still have another 2.5 years to kind of play with them. He doesn't know when he's going home. Doesn't matter to her. Doesn't matter to her whatsoever. I told you, baby, I'm here, and I'm going to ride till the wheels fall off. You don't typically see things like that, but in this particular case, that's what it was. Thing about prison, when you go to prison, you can recommend certain places of where you would like to go. Like when you get classified, they ask you your top 3 places you would like to go. There's no guarantee that you'll go to those places, let alone the number 1 choice, but there's an opportunity. Initially, Dale was sent a few hours away. He had to get his custody level down. Having a charge like that is a violent charge, although it wasn't classified as a violent charge. It was still an assault charge. So he had to start off behind the fence with the lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, and birds, hyenas. Stay behind the fence for a year, stay out the way, don't get any write-ups. Your custody level could drop down to where your camp status. Now you're able to go to one of the camps. They don't have a fence. The violence is very, very minimal, if any at all. You might see a fight every blue moon, but that's rare. Because when you're at a camp in Kentucky, you're 4 years or less from going home or having an opportunity to go home. He ends up doing about 1.5 years behind the fence. 6 months left before he goes up for parole. They end up moving him again. He still didn't get in his hometown in Lexington. They sent him to a place called Marion Adjustment Center, Marion County, Kentucky. It was closer, but it was still a good hour away. 45 minutes, depending on how fast you drive. 45 minutes to an hour away. But again, it was a lot closer. It was a lot more convenient. His girl never missed a beat. She visited, as much as she could possibly visit. Even when the weather was bad, it was raining, snowing, it didn't even matter. She was there. Them doors popped open, she's there. She didn't make a lot of money, but she found a way. Even if she could only send him $25, $30 some weeks, she was there. Although Dale appreciated her, he didn't always show his appreciation. That's the thing about when you're dealing with an individual in prison. I would imagine that it gets very difficult because I've had people deal with me. You hear things people's talking about, when she doesn't answer the phone. You know why she's not answering the phone? Jody's over there. You laugh it off. But in your mind, when you're laying down at night, you thinking, man, is Jody really over there? I've been Jody a few times. I'm not saying every woman falls under this category. But if I had to guess, I would say the majority. Women get lonely just like anybody else. And 15, 20-minute phone calls, okay, it's good while you're on the phone. But what happens after that? Hold on, baby, I'm going to call you right back. Okay, you call me right back. Throughout the course of a day, I've talked to you, if I'm lucky, 2 or 3 times throughout the course of a day, which means that you have to have money on the phone. You're not going to have money on the phone unless she puts money on the phone. In most cases. Every once in a while, you run across an individual that has his own money. He doesn't need a woman for anything as far as financially while he's locked up. But that's rare. In most cases, the woman's holding the dude down. With that being said, you all talk 2 or 3 times a day. You got to wait a whole week to see him on visit. What about all those times to where she needs someone to talk to? She's so strong holding him up, trying to be strong for him. What about her emotional, the things that she needs, necessities that she needs emotionally, physically, sexually? Oftentimes there will be a Jody. Jody's just there to take your place since you can't be there. You thinking about these things. So when you call, she takes too long to answer the phone, or she doesn't answer the phone. Man, what's up? Yeah, everything's cool with me. Now, my day's cool. You don't ask her how a day is or nothing, but why ain't you answer the phone? Oh, you was in the bathroom. Wow, you was in the bathroom, huh? What do you mean, why am I being silly? I'm just saying you was in the bathroom. It's just kind of funny to me for the simple fact that when I'm home, you take your phone with you everywhere you go. If you go to the kitchen, you go to the bathroom, if you take the trash out, wherever you go, you got your phone with you. But now all of a sudden, when I'm in here, you didn't hear your phone. Your phone was in the other room. Things like that. And it's very, very easy to run a woman off. Now, you can't run a woman off that don't want to be ran off, but at the same time, you can put a even more of a distance between you all with the accusations. What'd you do last night? Oh, yeah? Okay. Then you start making little sly comments. Ain't no telling what the phone's cut off at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock here. Ain't no telling what you did when the phone's off. Then you got to keep in mind, back then, cell phones you didn't really see cell phones in prison. Now they're everywhere. So dudes is talking to their woman all night. And that right there could be a curse because now you have more access to it. You trying to keep up with every move. Same dude that wasn't coming home at night when he was out. Same dude that where his girl would blow his phone up and he's not answering, he's sending her the voicemail. Same dude that's gone 2 or 3 days, she ain't heard nothing from him or whatever. Now you locked up, you down and out. Got nobody else to really call on, depend on, lean on. Baby, I've been thinking. I've really been thinking. All of the things that you talked about, the family that you want to have, the traveling, just creating memories, all of those things that you tried to get me to realize prior to, me coming in, I finally get it, baby. I know that I was running the streets at one particular time, but I'm not for the streets anymore. I just want you. All those other girls, I know I did wrong. I apologize to you. I'm so sorry. They don't mean absolutely anything to me whatsoever. It's all about you, the kids, the family, baby. I want to get married. You can get married in prison. I want to get married. I want to really, really do this, man. Now he understands that she's at her wit's end with him as far as his attitude and accusations and but he's trying to secure the relationship so that she doesn't go anywhere. Not saying that he didn't feel that way, but you know, when you have time to sit down and think and you're locked up and it's just you and it's just like, wow, you reflect and you think about all the wrong that you did. Then your mind starts to play tricks on you. Well, she knows the things that I was doing. Maybe she's trying to get back. Maybe she's doing the exact same thing. Or if she's not doing anything, it's still in your mind like, maybe she's not trying to get back. Maybe she's getting lonely and she wants to go kick it with another dude out there. So you tumultuate your relationship. Another word that I done kind of made up. You tumultuate your relationship. You make your relationship even more tumultuous than it already is. Oh, baby, I love you so much. I love you so much. She marries him. When you get married in prison, all you got to do is go to the chaplain. You fill out a request form, and they have certain times of the month in which they perform the marriage. Apply for the marriage license. You do all of those things that you would do on the streets. She comes up to the jail. You have a little ceremony with the chaplain. They might allow you to have like a little celebration outside. You are legally married. That's how much she loved him. He's at Marion County. He does the 6 months. He goes up for parole. They tell him to come back in another 18 months. An additional 18 months at this point. He's livid. He's fit to be tied. While at Marion County, he puts in a transfer to go to Blackburn, which is in Lexington. He didn't have to wait a year because he wasn't behind the fence. So if you're at a camp, you can put in for a transfer every 6 months. He puts in a transfer to go to Blackburn. Although he liked Marion County, it's nothing like being home. Luckily for him, the transfer goes through. They end up sending him to Blackburn maybe a couple months later. So when he gets to Blackburn, he's at home in Lexington, Fayette County. He has about 16 months left before he goes back up for parole. At this point, she's his wife. She's not missing a beat. She already wasn't missing a beat. But now that it's right there in her backyard, she literally lived 10 minutes away. Anytime they had visits, she was there. Visits are 9 to 3. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They actually cut them off at about 2:45. They'll tell people to go ahead and start wrapping it up, guys. It's kind of like last call in the club. Last call for alcohol. You got about 5-10 minutes, then we shutting it down. Every holiday, Friday and Saturday, she's there. She's bringing his kids to come and see him. Because remember, they didn't have kids together. She had 2 kids. He already had 3 kids. So she's bringing the kids to come and see him. She's able to send him more money because now she's not having to spend more money in gas. Everything is beautiful for him. He ends up getting a job within the facility on the compound. It's called PI, Prison Industry. Back then, you could top out making about $280, $300 a month. Now, you didn't start off like that. You start off making like $100 a month. Then it goes up to $120, then $140. Then after about 8 months, you top out at about, I think it was like $280. You top out at $280. That's a lot of money in prison. Out here on the street, you would laugh at that. But $280 a month in prison, especially back then when the commissary prices were much cheaper. Oh man, you're gonna live like at $70 a week, basically. And the money that she's sending him, she didn't know the money that he was making at PI. He never told her. So that whole time he's stacking his money. It's very difficult to get on at PI. You got to know somebody knew him, and he already knew how to work the machines that they needed somebody for. So he gets on at PI within a couple months of being at Blackburn. He's making that money 6, 7, 8 months later, whatever. He's topped out $280, $300 a month. You can make more if you're allowed to go out on a truck, because they had a truck and they would go and make deliveries. And those guys wouldn't even get back to the prison until, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes midnight. Anything over 40 hours, you get time and a half. So them dudes was making $500, $600 a month. He's saving all of his money. He's spending some of it, but, he's pretty much just living off the money that she's sending him, using a little bit of his money and then saving it. Then, his dad and people like that, his brothers, they were sending money every once in a while. So he was really, really able to accumulate some money. The relationship gets a lot better because he's closer to home. Like I said, she didn't miss a bit, a beat. She's there every single week. But there's still those accusations. He does the 16 months at the remaining 16 months, goes back up for parole. At this time, he's done 5.5 years on this sentence. He don't care what they do with him. Worst case scenario, y'all give me another year and I'm done. You all can't do anything else to me. Goes back up for parole. They give him parole. She's happy. He's happy. Everybody's happy. He's finally coming home. After 5.5 years, he comes home. All of the things that you've been telling this woman that's been riding with you this entire time, now it's her turn to kind of kick back, sit back, and relax a little bit. Yeah, she knows that she's going to have to work. She understands that it's not going to, be easy for him. He was a skilled dude, so he knew how to use like certain tools and machinery, and he could buff floors and strip and wax, and he was very, very skilled in that level, in that field rather. Knew it wasn't going to be hard for him to actually get a job. So now the weight of the world wasn't all on her shoulders. We can finally do all of the things that you promised me on the phone and in the letters that you were writing me. He comes home. There's always a honeymoon period, when you first come home from prison, because you miss your woman so much. You miss your family, your kids. The streets mean absolutely nothing to you in your mind. Genuinely in your mind, you feel as though, man, I'm never going back to that. Now, Dale was never in the streets. He just ended up splitting the motherfucker's wig, man. But he was never really in the streets like that, with the exception of he was getting high. She didn't really know what he was doing, but she would soon find out. Comes home, doesn't really do too much the first couple weeks, sitting in the house. Every waking moment is spent with her. He's not really even looking for a job too much. They're just doing what you do when you first get out of prison, man. They were in the bedroom, getting it in. You heard me? They getting it in. A whole lot of respectfully. A couple weeks, he's out, he's looking for a job or what have you. Look up about a month later, he still doesn't have a job. She's supporting him, but all the while when he got out of prison with $1,800, $1,900 that he had been saving up from his job at PI. She didn't know anything about this. He had they used to give you a check. Now they give you a card. He ended up cashing the check or what have you, and she knew nothing about this whatsoever. He had lost his car when he went into prison. Hey, baby, I need to use the car. No problem, baby. The keys are... It got to the point to where he was coming in later and later. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, he's coming in. You know that she got to be at work at 6. But you're not showing up 5:40. Baby, you know I got to be at work at 6. I'm sorry, baby. I just lost track of time. What are you doing out there anyway? What are you doing? Why are you out till 5? Why are you nagging? I've been in prison, man. I'm just kicking it with the fellas, man. Why are you nagging all the time? She started to see a strange behavior, a change in his personality. These things progressed, got worse and worse. Got to the point of where he stopped even showing up to take her to work. So now she has to call a taxi. Wasn't no Uber and Lyft and all of that. She got to try to find a ride to work. She's calling his phone, blowing his phone up. He's not answering the phone. Mind you, this is only a couple months after him being out of prison. She got to get the kids to certain places or what have you, but he got the car. He's gone for days at a time, a couple of days. He comes in, baby, I'm sorry, man. I just had some things on my mind. And, you know, she's upset, but she's still being supportive and understanding. You can't do that. You can't do that, Dale. I have responsibilities. This is the only car that we have. You right, baby, you right. Comes back in. Everything's cool for about a week. Same thing. Hey, baby, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the store. Okay. 9 and 10 o'clock at night. She dozes off. She wakes back up 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock. He's not there. Where is he? She calls him. Where you at? Oh, baby, I'm coming. I just had to make a run. I'm coming. 6 o'clock comes. Time for her to be at work. No longer there. Blowing his phone up. Same results. This type of strange behavior went on for a while before she finally just said, you know what? I love you. I'm not going to leave you. But you can't take my car anymore. Damn, you on that? You ain't going to let me use the car no more? Yes, that's what I'm on. I'm not letting you use my car anymore. You're not going to get me fired from my job. Luckily for her, she had been at her job at the time 12, 13 years. So she had some, you know, people knew that she wasn't the type of individual that was going to be late on a regular basis. She was dependable. That's the word that I'm looking for. Now he's upset. She won't let him get the keys. Rightfully so. Y'all rock with me. Jump in the comments and let me know where you chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Rock with me. The relationship just really, really takes a turn. It had already taken a turn for the worse, but it gets even worse. She ends up discovering that he's getting high. You see, she noticed that there was a strange smell on him when he would come in, but she wasn't a street, you know, didn't have that street mentality. You know, she was kind of green to the fact. She started noticing slurred speech, strange smells on him. He had excellent hygiene, but, you know, when you're getting high and you using that, you smoking, it gets in your clothes. It's just one of the worst smells that I've ever smelled. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about the Crizac. Yeah, he was off the Crizac. Got to the point to where she's going to sleep. He done snuck the keys out. He done took the debit card. Once again, to wake up, she's looking around for her keys. She can't find them. Doesn't have a clue that the debit card's gone. Once he comes back in or whatever, slides the debit card back or whatever, she tries to go and make a purchase. She looks up. Insufficient funds. What? Overdraft? What? Now your bank will let you overdraft if you don't have the money, but your bank will cover it, and you go into the negative, and they're going to charge you $300 for every day that you're in the negative. Not literally $300, but you know what I mean. You know, banks rob people. This dude has been stealing my card? You steal my car, and you've been stealing my card? She still don't make him leave. They're married, for better or for worse. He would always use that to make her feel guilty. Baby, you said you would never leave me. Now I'm going through some things and you just going to put me out like that? She feels guilty. Couple weeks goes past again. Everything's good. Baby, I got a job. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to get myself together. I got myself in some counseling. I'm going to be going to these classes, NAAA, twice a week. Actually NA. He didn't need AA. I'm going to NA twice a week, and you know, I got my job, man, and everything's beautiful. And I want to just thank you. for not giving up on me. I want to thank you for believing in me, not kicking me when I was down. I apologize. I know I did some things that I should not have been doing. Now, all the while, you on parole, knowing that you're going to get drug tested while you're on parole. He didn't really care because he didn't have that much time left anyway. Worst case scenario, if y'all catch me up on a dirty urine and you do send me back, first of all, you're not going to send me back on one dirty urine. It's going to take 2 or 3. By the time you all do all that, I'd have 6 months in. I ain't going to have nothing but about 6 months left, and then I'm right back to the streets. Selfish thinking, criminal behavior. That's what it is. Criminal behavior. Criminal behavior thinking at its best. Everything's cool for a little bit. He's honoring what he said, going to the classes. As soon as he gets that first paycheck, he's off to the races. Gone again. She can't find him. Baby, you know I got to go to work. Where are you at? Where are you at? I have to go to work. Nowhere to be found. Got to the point to where he was gone 3 days sometimes. He comes in the house. She's not speaking to him. He's trying to speak to her. Are you mad? You mad? I told you I'm sorry. I mean, damn, baby, you Dale, I just can't deal with this anymore. I cannot deal with this anymore, Dale. I'm stressed. I'm crying all the time. I'm miserable. The kids is missing activities. My job is luckily, they're working with me. I cannot deal with you anymore, Dale. You don't want to get you any help? I love you. I've been by your side from day one. But this is just something that I'm not going to deal with. Absolutely no more. You have to leave. You for real? You have to leave. Man, I ain't going nowhere. We married. This is part of my house too. Everything's in her name, but they're married. It's part of my house. I ain't going nowhere. So you're not going to leave? You're going to continue to... Then he had gotten to the point to where he had put his hands on her a couple times. He had never done these things before. But when you come in the house and you high, or when you're trying to get high and you don't have any money, she done hid the card. You can't find it anywhere. You upset. She won't give you anything. So now you upset. You done put your hands on her. Not just beat her to death or anything like that, but still, if you slap a woman, if you put her in a headlock, if you do anything physically to a woman, you are in violation. Unless you're just trying to protect yourself outside of anything like that. I'm saying you're putting your hands on this woman that's done nothing but love you the entire time because you can't find the money. You can't find the debit card. Even if he had found it, I'm sure she changed the PIN number and everything. So it would have been useless to him anyway. A couple times he was still able to find the keys and was still sneaking the car out. He got crazy, man. All the while, he still has his job, but he's getting high. He starts to, call in to work. He's late. His job performance, because he's so tired, he done been on all-nighters, been out all night. So when he gets to work, he's tired. He's dozing off. Supervisor catches him, sleep a couple times in the office. Ends up getting fired from his job. Fired from his job. Him and his wife, they're on the downslide of the relationship, and it's all because of him. He always had a crutch, though. He could always go to his parents' house. Parents loved him to death. He always had a place to go. Wifey put him out, or just whatever the case may have been, he always had a spot, a landing spot. Safety net. That was his parents. They would tell him, Dale, you need to get yourself together. But at the same time, that room was always open. He never really had to hit rock bottom. One night, Dale comes to the house. Notices that the house is dark. Hey, ain't nobody here. House is real dark. Puts his key in the door, opens the door, cuts the light on. When he cuts the light on, it was a lamp that typically, It's a lamp. It controls the lighting in the room. A lamp. Y'all know what a lamp is? There's no light cutting on. Hitting the switch. What's going on? Walks over to the kitchen. He's walking over to the kitchen. He's noticing like the things that were the couch and the furniture, and nothing's there. He gets in the kitchen, cuts the light on. Nothing's there. Everything's gone. Only thing that was there was a few black bags that had his clothes in the bags, and they were packed up, neatly folded up or whatever. Everything in the whole house was gone. He'd been gone for 2 or 3 days. He runs in the room. There's nothing in the room, in the bathroom, nowhere in the house. No! You know how in the movies, when people get to screaming, it's in slow motion. No! I'm gonna kill you, bitch! That was his response. She was fed up. She was tired of him. No more. No mas. Out of there. She's gone. He's calling her. She's not answering the phone. I know where she's at. He goes over to her mother's house. When he goes over to her mother's house, he's looking for a car, but her car's not there. Every night he would come back. Maybe not every single night, but a couple times a week he would come back. Several times a week, rather. He would come back. See if her car was there. He never quite could catch her car there, so he said, you know what? She got to come home eventually. He's hiding in the bushes. Literally hiding in the bushes, waiting on her. She comes in one night. She got a couple kids with her. A couple of her kids with her. They're still relatively young. He jumps out of the bushes. Yeah, what's up? You been avoiding me? You thought you was just going to leave me and not say nothing to me? I told you, Dale, I'm done with this relationship. Who you talking to? Who you seeing now? What are you talking about? I'm not seeing anybody. Who are you seeing now? You got to be seeing somebody. Are you serious? All the things that you put us through? And you're accusing me? You're making accusations once again that I'm with somebody else? Have you not taken a look at yourself? Have you not understood in your mind that you have single-handedly nearly ruined me to where I'm living in my mother's house now? Ain't nobody tell you to leave. You didn't have to leave. They're going back and forth outside. She sends the kids inside. Go on inside, kids. I'll be in there in a second. Go on inside. It's 2 girls. They continue to go back and forth. It gets a little loud. I want you to leave. I don't want anything to do with you. And I'm getting a divorce. I've already started the process. When you told me that you was going to be with me forever, when you told me it was for better or for worse, I believed you. I understand that I've gone through some difficult times, but you my wife. I need you to be there for me. How many times can I be there for you, Dale? Do you know I'm stressed? Do you know that my blood pressure is high? Do you know that I have things going on because all the times, all these years that I've spent trying to be there for you? Dale didn't get it. Dale did not get it. Police ended up being called. Dale left. Dale stayed gone for about a month or so. Didn't bother. Got himself another job. He was really trying to get himself together. Got himself another job. Was going to rehab. Doing everything that he needed to do. That he should have been doing in the first place. But once a woman is scorned, once a woman just feels like, you know, we've been there, we've done that, and it's the same results. It's the same results every single time, Dale. Despite all of that, she took him back again. He's doing real well. 4 or 5 months. He didn't stop getting high. Stop missing work. Stop being late to work because he wasn't getting high. Saving his money up. At this point, she ends up having another place. She went and got another place because her lease was up at the other place, and she only left because she knew that she couldn't get rid of Dale. She had a pretty good profession. Don't want to say exactly what she did, but she made pretty decent money. She ends up moving into another spot. This time it's a house. She's buying a house. She's purchasing a home. As I mentioned, everything's good. He moves in. They go, several months. No problem. He got his own car at that point. He's working on his credit. Seemed like he was really, really trying to do right. He had completed parole. He's off parole at this point. I don't know what made him go back. I don't know what caused him to go back to the streets. But whatever the case may be, he found himself right back in the same situation. Only difference now, he had his own vehicle. He didn't have to use her vehicle. Right back to getting high. He got a good job. I mean, a good job. One of those jobs to where you can retire from. Started being late to work. Same pattern. Started falling asleep. Being out all night. Calling in. Now his attitude towards her. His attitude towards her was starting to change. All these months that he's been positive and nice, and he was the old Dale prior to prison. That went away. He ended up getting in a bind with his car. He went to one of those, what are those places called, you all? Jump in the comment. Title loan places where you put your car title up and they give you money, but they let you keep the car. Daggone crooks. They banned them in Kentucky. They should be banned everywhere. Didn't make the payment. As to be expected. He tried to hide the car or whatever. They found the car, came and took his car. He lost his car. He's barely holding on to his job. They liked him at the job, but liking somebody at a job, what does that really, really mean? Luckily for him, they was allowing him. They were working with him. But he didn't have much. He didn't have too many more opportunities left. Started using her car again. The same exact thing that happened the first time happened again. Stealing the keys. He done ran through his little money he had. He had a little 401k plan at work. He was saving his money. Dipped into that. Wasn't very much because he hadn't worked there that long, about a year or so. Dipped into that. Ran through all of his money, his savings or what have you. Little credit that he had established and built up. Maxed all of that out. Now it's back to stealing the debit card, stealing money out of her purse. After a couple times, she wasn't having it. She was not having it. She put his stuff out. You will not come back to my house. If you do come back to my house, I'm calling the police. He came back to the house, banging on the door, kicking. Come on, baby, let me in. I told you, man. Please, just let me in. I'm sorry, I ain't got nowhere to go tonight. I just need to talk to you. I miss you. Just please let me in. Called the police on his ass. Every time he'd come over, she called the police. A few weeks, a month or so go past. He see that she's dead serious this time. You're not getting back. I'm done. Woman's fed up. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's like running out of love. Too late to talk about it. Once again, he's hiding in the bushes. Favorite spot to be in the bushes. But this night, something tragic was going to happen. He just knows that she's with a dude. She's with a dude. The dude's going to get it. If she's by herself, she's going to get it. She ain't leaving me. If I can't have her, ain't nobody going to have her. He got a butcher knife waiting in the bushes. She pulls up. Got two of her kids with her. Well, she only had 2 kids. Got the little girls with her. Jumps out of the bushes. You got to stop doing this, Dale. I'm calling the police. I need to talk to you. She sends the kids inside. Once again, they're going back and forth. They're going through it. Got this butcher knife. She doesn't know that he has the butcher knife. Once he sees that he doesn't, because he always kind of had the gift of gab, but his mouth is it wasn't gonna get him there this time. You're not getting in his house. It's over with. I'm done. I'm finished. Divorce, done. She had already started the proceedings before, but she didn't go through. This time, I'm done. Done. See, there's done, then there's done. She turns around to walk inside of the house. And I'm calling the police if you don't leave. You think you're going to just keep calling the cops on me? You think my wife pulls out the knife and stabs her in her back, like in her shoulder. A grown man, stabs her in her shoulder. But he was trying to stab her in the back. She turns around. She's screaming, "What are you doing? Stop, please." Stabs her again. Now she falls on the ground. He stands over top of her, and he kind of, clutches down, bends down, like where he's on his knee, and he's talking to you. Think you're just going to leave me? You think you're just going to leave? And he holds his arm up. This was going to be the blow that really, really potentially took her away from here. And as he went to actually do what he was going to do, the kids run out of the house. Stop! Dale, stop! No, please stop! Please stop! Please! And he caught himself. I don't even like to use the term he caught himself, because that would suggest that he didn't know what he was doing. That would suggest that, he snapped out of whatever he was in, wherever his mind state was in. But for lack of better terms, he caught himself. I guess he said to himself at that point, what am I doing? What am I doing? She's bleeding. Kids is crying. He knows the police is probably on the way. After all, neighbors heard everything that was going on. Maybe the neighbors even seen it. He gets up, gets in the car, runs away. Not even sure which car that he got in, because the people came and took his car, but he was in a vehicle. He speeds off. Wait about 43 minutes, so guess what? I'm going to have to leave you all with another cliffhanger. I'm going to come back later on. Either this evening or tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon at some point with part 3. As I mentioned, this may be 3 or 4 different parts. It's going to blow your mind, man. I will leave you with this, ladies, when you're dealing with an individual, with a man, or if you're dealing with a woman, because I've seen some crazy women just as well. You see that person it doesn't have it all. You see that person is a sandwich or 2 short of a picnic. Get away fast. You got to call a lot of people. I don't want to put the police in my business. Man, you better call them police. You better protect yourself. Oftentimes, even though a woman goes and gets a DVO, domestic violence order, or EPO, emergency protective order, that's what they call it in Kentucky, it's not going to stop the dude from coming around anyway, but at least you have some form of protection. And women just as well. There are women that act the same, but it's primarily men that I've seen. Get away. Get away. Anytime you hear an individual and he's talking about, or he exemplifies that sort of behavior, as far as if I can't have you, nobody else will ever have you, get away. It's only going to get worse, especially if that individual is getting high, drinking, anything that's distorting his mind. Y'all stay tuned for part 3. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kids TV. Stay tuned. Part 3's coming for your ass. Pause.